Hi, it's me. Welcome to my channel. And today we are going to do Bible Story 14. Now, many of you have been following along with these videos where I've been reading through the Bible, one verse per day, and we're now in the book of Exodus. So get your paper and pencil ready and let's go to Exodus chapter 2, verses 11 through 15. One day, while Moses was tending the flock, he came across a burning bush that was all aflame, but it was not being consumed. So he thought, "That is amazing. I will go and see what's going on here." Then the Lord called to him from the bush and said, "Hey, Moses, Moses, what are you doing here?" And Moses replied, "I was tending the flock and I saw this amazing bush, all flames and yet not being burned up. So I came to see what was happening." The Lord then said to Moses, "You shall not come any closer. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground." Then he said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. And he said, "You have been a cruel taskmaster, O God, and have afflicted me from the time I have been small until now. You are God, merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness." Okay, now before we go any further, I want you to take a moment to memorize this verse. Okay, go ahead and put your pencils down. We'll wait just a second and see who can recite Exodus chapter 2, verses 11 through 15. All right, so how did you do? Did you memorize it all? I hope you did. Now pick up your pencils again and let's talk about what we just read. So Moses is out there taking care of sheep and he sees something very amazing. He sees a bush that's on fire, but it's not getting burned up. And if you've ever seen a bush that's on fire, you know that the bush is going to get burned up. But this one wasn't. And so he goes over to check it out. And when God asked him why he was there, he basically says, "I saw this awesome bush that's on fire, but it's not getting burned up. So I came to see what was going on." And God tells him, "Hey, don't come any closer. Take your shoes off, because the ground where you're standing is holy ground." And then God reveals himself to Moses and says, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Now, when God revealed himself to Moses, what was the first thing that Moses did? He hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. And then he starts reminding God of all the bad things that God has done to him, like when he killed an Egyptian, and then had to flee into the desert and live with his wife and kids in Midian. He reminds God of all that. And then he reminds God of who God really is, saying, "You are a God who is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness." Basically, Moses is saying to God, "You're really good and kind and slow to get angry, and you keep your promises. You're faithful." That's what Moses is saying to God. Well, thanks for joining me today for Bible Story 14. If you enjoyed this story, please click the like button, and I'll see you next time.